Knucklemania 5 is going down in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You got Philly's own Eddie Alvarez headlining the show. He's taking on Lil Heathen Jeremy Stevens, and Lil Heathen's been stirring the pot a little bit because he's been talking shit on the Philly fans. So I think he's going to have a little bit of trouble because they don't fuck around in Philly. My boy Eddie Alvarez trying to hold it down, but I got to admit, they did not take the cake for the most confident picks. All right. These are my 5 most confident picks for Knucklemania 5. I'm going to start at the bottom of the card. John Garbarino. He is a lock via knockout over Apostle Spencer. I like him in that fight. I'll just give you the quick ones. Dustin Pague. I think Dustin Pague is going to lay out JD Burns. Dustin Pague, the Ultimate Fighter veteran, a guy who's had a little bit of issues, broke his fucking jaw in bare knuckle fighting championships. I think he's got it. Itzo Babulaidze, he is from the PFL. He is known as a grappler, but I think he's a lock here. Mick Terrill. Mick Terrill beaten up on Big Ben Rothwell. I know that's crazy for people to hear. I like watching Big Ben fight. Of course, Big Ben's still in it, but I got Mick Terrill. I think he's a faster fighter. And then give me Bec Rawlings over Taylor Starling. Taylor Starling, definitely a star in bare knuckle fighting championships, but I think she's going to have some problems. One more time for my people in the back. Bec Rawlings, Mick Terrill, Itzo Babulaidze, Dustin Pague, and John Garbarino are my 5 most confident picks for Knucklemania 5. I'll break those down one by one. Let's do them backwards now. Bec Rawlings. Bec Rawlings has a style that is much more conservative than a Taylor Starling. Taylor Starling has a lot of volume that she throws, but she is definitely more susceptible to being punched in the face. And so I think Bec Rawlings moving forward, parrying those shots, making you hit her elbows when she goes to the body. Taylor never goes to the body. Taylor Starling never goes to the body. But regardless, even if she chooses to, she makes you hit those elbows. You look at the fight she had with Christina Ferreira. I believe that Christina Ferreira is, the best female we've seen in bare knuckle fighting championships. That was a very close fight. I got to go see live in Colorado. You could check out my backstage interviews over on BKFC.com. She should be quite a bit better than Taylor Starling. I mean, Taylor Starling's experience, I respect. I heard AJ DeVito, I heard my boy hate on the durability or even the heart, I guess, of Taylor Starling. She did quit in the Christine Ferreira fight. She did. But that seems like a one-off. If you look at Taylor Starling's other fights, I'm actually confident that she can make it 5 rounds with Bec Rawlings. I just don't think she's winning most of them. I think Bec Rawlings actually has defense. Her last name now is actually Rodriguez. She got married, so I'll switch it up. But you guys needed to know who the fuck I was talking about, right? Can't say Ronda Brown. I got to still say Ronda Rousey, I think Bec Rawlings should be able to win 4 out of 5 rounds here. Walk her down. Use that backhand to parry, shoot that jab at her, block, and just respond. As to where Taylor Starling, a lot of output, but defensively highly questionable. And so I definitely believe that Taylor Starling is going to come up short here and get a lot of punches landed on her face. And we've seen that in the past. I mean, we've seen her take a ton of damage to girls with a lot less prowess, a lot less technical ability than Bec Rawlings. I got Bec Rawlings via decision. Problem with Bec is not a lot of power. So that's why I think we're going long. Mick Terrill. Mick Terrill's a fucking problem. Who here saw Mick Terrill fight Lorenzo Hunt? That shit was awesome. Lorenzo Hunt broke his fucking arm. That is a big boy. When Mick Terrill and Ben Rothwell buck in that cage, I'm used to calling MMA fights, in that ring, I think it's going to be an explosion, man. Those two guys are going to meet each other. Even if Ben Rothwell gets that single collar tie, you saw Mick Terrill use that so well against Lorenzo Hunt. He's fast. He's faster than Big Ben. And the knock against Mick Terrill, I think, is just that he's 41. Big Ben's 43. I think Mick Terrill is looking really sharp here. I like his straight cross. He's money with it. He lands it very clean. He's an accurate striker. And he's got that, Muay Thai experience where he knows how to clinch as well. I see Big Ben kind of like grab Josh Copeland's head and hang on some dudes and get in some rough, dirty boxing situations where he has a big advantage. You can't really say that with Mick Terrill. So I think Mick Terrill's better on the outside. I think he hangs with Big Ben on the inside. And Big Ben is fucking big. But so is Mick Terrill. Mick Terrill's 6'3", 250 pounds. That's no little dude. I think he's getting this thing done. So Mick Terrill could be dog money. I have no fucking idea. The odds aren't out yet. Maybe I'm sitting here making the odds right now. Maybe the odds makers just had to wait for most confident picks to make the odds. But I think Mick Terrill gets this thing done via knockout too. And I know that's wild to say because Big Ben is durable. I mean, you guys saw Merab over the weekend? You could take a baseball bat out and just crack Merab in the head. I think he's going to rip that baseball bat out of your hands and start beating you with it. These guys got heads made out of titanium. And you could say a very similar thing for Big Ben. He's ready to take punishment. I think he's getting put on his butt. I think Big Ben's getting knocked out. Mick Terrill via knockout in a sick fight against Big Ben Rothwell. Then we're going Itzo Babulaidze. I got him as a lock. He is a PFL fighter. He's fighting this tall, skinny Bryan McDowell, the Iceman. How dare you steal my favorite fighter's nickname? Chuck Liddell is the Iceman, sir. You got to choose a new one. Bryan McDowell, 1-0 in bare knuckle fighting championships. He's confident with his jab. He's confident with his mustache. Long southpaw, but not much else you could say. I mean, I guess he kind of just leans out of danger. But you know what happens when you lean? Your body's open. I think Itzo is going to be able to throw big shots on him, start low, end high. He's more of a grappler who's evolved into a striker over his MMA career, but Itzo, undefeated in MMA, big wins, undefeated. He's got PFL fights. He's got real good experience outside of the UFC. Strong, athletic dude. You got to have high confidence in him here. I remember when he knocked out Mahmoud Sebi. And for those of you who don't know about Mahmoud Sebi trains at ATT. He's an Olympic wrestler. He's a guy who, there was a lot of hype around him. I interviewed Mike Brown about him. I interviewed Mahmoud Sebi. I worked for Bellator. And, they had really high hopes for Mahmoud Sebi. This is one of the guys that derailed him. Not the best matchmaking, I must say. If you're trying to hook Mahmoud Sebi up, Itzo is not the guy. Itzo's a big athletic dude. I think he's getting Bryan McDowell out of here. When Bryan McDowell starts getting pressured, he starts that leaning back shit and giving up ring control. I could just see, him getting hunted down and Itzo getting him out of there. Itzo via knockout. This is there's the Bec Rawlings and Mick Terrill confidence. This confidence is very high. I got Itzo all day. If the odds are anything close, you guys will probably see this as a pick. And you can't always parlay with bare knuckle fighting championships. Depends on obviously who you're going with, but that's a nice parlay piece. It looks like to me too. Just giving it out here for the folks. Okay. Dustin Pague off the Ultimate Fighter. He's fighting JD Burns. Probably a little bit better of a fight, but you got to go with Dustin Pague, man. JD Burns is coming over from BYB. He really has no range ability. He's a tall guy, but he crouches down. Like you would think if you're taller than your opponent, you should stick that fucking jab out there and use your range. He doesn't really do that. He gets low with them and he tries to strike with the shorter guys down here. He doesn't really use his weapons. He has no power, but he covers up, which I think is a terrible thing for bare knuckle fighting championships. I think a lot better is your parry game, your head movement game. When you block with a big glove, you can block a big ass 16-ounce sparring glove, even a 10-ounce fight glove. But in bare knuckle, when you only have the size of your fist, it gets through. So I'm not a big fan of the Mexican style, hands up, chin tucked, walk forward, you punch me, I punch you shit. When you block, that's like you wearing your seatbelt in your car. I don't want to use it. If somebody slams on the brakes in front of me, I'm trying to change lanes, hit the brakes. I got a bumper. I don't want to fucking ding up my car though. And that's how I see this blocking style in bare knuckle fighting championships. Like, yeah, you should block, like, especially when you're shooting. The other hand's got to be busy on defense, but that's a last resort. You're really trying to avoid the accident altogether. And so this guy's just got the wrong style for his body type. I think JD Burns is a bust. I think Dustin Pague's a lock. I'll double down on him, actually. I'm more confident. Dustin Pague, he got beat by Carlos Trinidad Snake. Carlos Trinidad Snake broke his jaw. I guess that's, his first fight back from a broken jaw. That's the only reservation. Fuck it, man. Based on the matchup, Dustin Pague, Philly guy. I think some of the Philly guys got hooked up with some matchups. Not all of them. Pat Brady didn't get hooked up. He's got to fight Zach Calmus. Zachary Calmus is a problem. That's a good fight. That's a Philly boy. Eddie Alvarez has got to fight Jeremy Stevens. That's a good fight. JD Burns, Dustin Pague should smoke him here. Okay? Dustin Pague, absolute lock. John Garbarino over Apostle Spencer. I got to go with Garbarino via knockout. Spencer has 6 AMI MMA fights, 2 amateur boxing matches. He says his game's all about pressure, but he's not good at fighting. He's got some experience, but and he's jacked, but he's so stiff. He's very robbed of skill. As to where John Garbarino, heavy hands, showed his mobility. He's had 3 fights in 2024. I think Spencer is an absolute opponent here. Huge, big time lock on John Garbarino. So heavy confidence, John Garbarino. Heavy confidence, Dustin Pague. Heavy confidence, Itzo Babulaidze. And then, Mick, Terrill, and Bec Rawlings, although we must admit those are better fights, okay? Those are my 5 most confident picks for bare knuckle fighting championships on Saturday night in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where they got a lot of Philly guys on the card. Mozzie Man was 777. Very lucky numbers there. Finch simply gets it done. Dude makes us money. Let's go. Monzie, bare knuckle is my favorite thing to bet on. I mean, I have made good money betting on bare knuckle fist fights, albeit you have the risk of cuts. There are other problems. Not that you can't get cut in MMA, but damn, the knuckles can cut a fucking face up. So there are always some issues, and you get people who quit. I mean, bare knuckles different because the skill level, let's just admit, is lower than like the UFC, which is generally what I bet on. And you get people who quit because the pain is higher, the shock is higher. When you get punched with that bare knuckle in the nose, it is difficult. So just a different type of thing to bet on. All right. And welcome to the Guru people. If you guys are here from watching MMA Guru, where do I bet BKFC? Should I just give that out? I guess so. I know people who use Bet Online. How about that response? Bet Online generally has BKFC. They don't have the lines up right now. They always do. I'd be really surprised if they don't have them up like tomorrow. So, yeah, betonline.ag. Free plug for them. How dare they? Bet Online, you should pay for that. You mother. No, it's all good. Betonline.ag. I don't like how the cuts stop the fights, though. Bro, a lot of times they can get through without the cut stopping the fights, but every card there's somebody, right? Thank you for all the W's. I appreciate it. Space Cowboy, thank you for coming from Guru. Infinite, love Finch, good shit. I appreciate you, Hybrid. Fahea, a menace. Fahea is a menace. Christine Fahea is she's a talented boxer. She's extremely tough. She's got some power. She's like a full package for bare knuckle. Jared coming from MMA Guru. Shout out to Guru. Freak injury. Mixed starched Lorenzo. I know Mick is a problem, dude. Mick fucked Lorenzo Hunt up. That was kind of crazy to watch, right? Because Lorenzo Hunt, such a speed advantage even for the light heavyweights. Now he's moving up to heavyweight, and Mick Terrill, boom, boom, he could rock with him. He was putting that straight cross on him. I think Lorenzo was surprised. He was piecing him up bad. I agree. Run the likes. Yeah, the OG smoker knows. Hit the like button. No BKFC on DraftKings? I guess not. Terrill KO seems legit. I'm saying. Brady also, Calmus mid. Throw up and elbow block equals broken hand. Dude, I remember Randy Couture saying that back in the day. Randy Couture said, when you throw at him, he's trying to make you hit his elbow, which like exposes your body. But in BKFC, how often do you see good body work? Not that often. So yeah, trying to make him hit your elbow really is a great strategy. Cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about the rest of the card. Okay, I'll go through it for you. I don't mind. So Eddie Alvarez versus Jeremy Stephens. Let's start at the top. Eddie Alvarez is more, he just has more experience at a high level. Like I was going to say more experience, but Jeremy Stephens, it's not an experience problem. It's a Eddie Alvarez is used to fighting better fighters. Eddie Alvarez is not going to come out there, you know, like Bobby Taylor, who's 45 years old, who Jeremy Stephens is fighting. And by the way, respect to Bobby Taylor. Dude's fucking tough. He's jacked. He's fucking hanging in there for 5 rounds with Jeremy Stephens. Like, respect to him. He was able to put big right hands on Jeremy Stephens. I think Eddie Alvarez has to be able to, right? My only real reservation is just seeing Eddie Alvarez on TV. I'm like, where did his physique go, bro? Right now at UFC Gym, we're doing shred challenge. Eddie needs to do shred challenge, bro. Where's the shred? My man was jacked. When he fought Eddie Alvarez in BKFC over in Colorado, when I saw him live, I put my hand on Eddie's shoulder. It felt like I was standing there with the juggernaut. He felt like Superman. I mean, he is just made out of steel. Right now, he's looking a little softer, and he's getting a little older. He's in his 40s now. What, 41? But 41, a bunch of guys do well in BKFC at 41. I can't really count you out at 41 in BKFC. It seems like the shelf life for boxing, and especially BKFC, is a little bit longer than the shelf life in the UFC and mixed martial arts. So I'll give him a little bit of respect here. You know, he's definitely more skilled than Jeremy Stephens. You know, Jeremy Stephens talking big shit at the press conference. He's going to have the crowd against him too. Not that that matters that much, but you know, I respect that Jeremy Stephens beat Jimmy Rivera. That's a pretty good win. And you know, he's basic but competent. Like Jeremy Stephens has cardio. He's got power. He can walk forward. He uses a backhand parry pretty well. Decent jab, throws a good overhand right. That's his shot. Eddie Alvarez, though, has beaten so many better fighters than that. Even my coach, Pat Curran, the way Eddie Alvarez was able to kind of dart out when he would throw a jab, dart out when he would throw a cross, move his head. You don't see those layers to the game for Jeremy Stephens. So I think Lil Heathen's fucked, man. I think Lil Heathen's getting beat up here. We'll go with Eddie Alvarez in a good one. Lil Heathen's, 38 years old. Eddie Alvarez, 41. But Lil Heathen lost to Nate Diaz's towel boy, Chris Avila, in boxing. That's not good. As to where Eddie Alvarez is, lost to Mike Perry? Like, Mike Perry's a fucking middleweight, dude. You know? Eddie Alvarez beat Chad Mendez. That's a problem. I would also pick Chad Mendez over Lil Heathen. So, and that's another dude who was fucking jacked in person. These guys look a lot bigger than they were in the UFC. I'm just saying. I broke down Mick Terrill and Ben Rothwell. I broke down Taylor Starling and Bec Rawlings, Rodriguez. Pat Brady versus Zach Calmus. This is a good one. Pat Brady, former Division III linebacker, football player, powerful dude. He's definitely got power in his punches. He's got power in whatever the fuck he wants to hit you with. Moves forward. Defensively, bankrupt. And so that's my concern against Zachary Calmus, who can bang. I mean, Zachary Calmus is a certified brawler. My man will throw left hooks and right hooks with you all night, and he will die in there. He is so tough. They don't make him tougher than Calmus. So, though Pat Brady has a power advantage, an athleticism advantage, a speed advantage, even maybe an offensive advantage, like his punches are good. Zach Calmus has balls advantage. Zach Calmus has, I'm hurt, but I'm still banging with you. Yeah, I'll take a 10 count, but I'm going to get up and try to fuck you up advantage, you know? So Zach Calmus is a problem. Really tough son of a bitch, man. I could see him getting beat up and then just turning the tides at any moment. So I'm going to lean towards Pat Brady here. That's the early lean. But damn, Zach Calmus could give him a run for his money. I'm interested to see where they place the odds on that one. I gave you Dustin Pague over JD Burns, Travis Thompson, and Zach Pannell. This is a cool one. Travis Thompson had a fun fight with David Diaz. Shout out to David Diaz. Wild man. Really fun fight, guy to watch fight. But Travis Thompson got smoked against the fast Abdil Velazquez in his last one. He fights with his lead hand down like he's Roy Jones Jr., but he ain't fast like that. He can't get out of the way of punches like that. So I don't know if that style works for him, as to where Pannell, 12 amateur boxing bouts, not a great range ability, you know, but a little bit of experience and should probably make it more of a fight. I think Thompson can bounce back here, just because Pannell does not have great range ability. He's not good in what I call the green zone when you're far away. I'll go with Travis Thompson. I do think he can get it done, but I am not impressed by your performance. There's some room for improvement here. He is a tough guy. I mean, even though he got smoked in the last one and found a way out, he is a pretty tough guy. I think in this matchup, I'm going to go with him. Travis Thompson over Zach Pannell. John Garbarino over Apostle Spencer. Apostle Spencer, not good. Garbarino should knock him the fuck out. Pat Sullivan and Kane Thompson Jr. Kane Tomlinson Jr. destroyed Spencer in his last fight. Pat Sullivan from Pennsylvania, but I didn't see his fights here. Obviously, I got to go with the guy who I could find his fights, right? Kane Tomlinson. Some of these earlier fights are harder to find. Last one I'll break down for you guys is the Itzo, Babulaidze, and Bryan McDowell. Look, the PFL experience is real. Bryan McDowell, I already did break this one down. Leans back, tall guy, but not great. And I think is going to get knocked out here. So that's that knockout lock for Itzo. All right. Stephen Banks is a bad motherfucker. He's fighting Joey Dawejko. Early lean Stephen Banks, but I got to do my research on that one. Cody Russell, Logan Tucker. There's a couple of those where I need to dig deep into them, like the early prelims of the night. These are the guys who I read you who I've seen their fights in bare knuckle fighting championships, and I'm confident predicting. All right. Those are my 5 most confident picks for bare knuckle fighting championships, Knucklemania 5. And I also gave you guys a couple more predictions down the card. What about the most confident PFL? I know I don't normally do PFL picks. Maybe I should. Do you guys watch PFL? Because judging by the numbers, Francis Ngannou did 10,000 pay-per-view buys. Not good. Not good. 10,000 pay-per-view buys for the former UFC heavyweight champion with tons of promotion on ESPN. Not great. So if you watch PFL, I'll handle it. I'm hoping you guys are watching bare knuckle, man. All right. Jeremy, who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that guy? Stevens. Hardest hitting 145er right here, brother. I remember. You're welcome, Bill. Hey, quit talking about Pat Barry like that. All right. You guys want to touch base really quick on the UFC? The UFC was awesome this weekend. Got a couple ones I'm really proud of. First off, Eileen Perez, dog money, woof, plus 250 to hit those takedowns against Rosa. That was my favorite dog of the night. Good to see her. I doubled it up from my wild card. I also did my man, the submission specialist, taking out Kevin Holland. I was, I've been fading Kevin Holland after the Babulaidze fight. And so this time around, I had to go against him. And I'm glad I did, because Kevin Holland, look, as talented and as dangerous, you could even say, his striking is, I think it's a real problem when he fights these grapplers. Roman Dolidze, for instance, is going to be stronger than him. You know, I feel like anytime somebody is significantly stronger than Kevin Holland, he's going to have a problem with them. And so DeRitter was no different, man. I thought DeRitter could take him down, and his submission ability is high level. Gets him out of there. Rainer DeRitter submission was like plus 280. That's a nice touch too. Glad to have those two. Fucked up on Peyton Talbot. That sucks. Didn't think he would get out wrestled. Fucked up on Umar, but kind of happy for Merab, honestly. I did a parlay. I did Tagir Ulanbekov, nailed that one, and Umar, fuck. Didn't give it out on the official list, but I did bet on it, so fuck it. I talked to the free channel about it. I got to eat that one. Umar got out hustled, man. I thought Umar, looked good early, but couldn't find his timing against Merab. I mean, if a dude shoots on you 30 times, could I get one knee to the face? Could you catch him with one uppercut? Merab just tired him out, really showed his experience and his fucking cardio. Merab's cardio is insane. Merab looked really good. What a fun performance from Merab. What just a crazy performance from Merab. So shout out to him. Merab killed it. Islam obviously was a lock. That one was very straightforward and simple. Bernardo Sopai, easy call. Jailton Almeida, easy call. Nakamura, didn't expect that one. Nakamura fumbled the ball too. Feel like I'm missing a good one. Oh yeah, the lock of the night. I locked Yuri motherfucking Prohaska, who came through for us and won your boy some money. I had bet on Yuri fucking, I don't know, November. I can't remember when. Long time ago. And I'm a Jamal Hill hater. What can I say, man? I don't believe in Jamal Hill's defense. I think he's kind of amateurish. Dangerous for sure, but Yuri Prohaska moving that fucking head, getting it done. Look good to me. Apparently he went and had gay sex at home. I don't know what the fuck that interview with Megan Levy was, if you know what I'm talking about. Hey, man, if you're going to fuck guys in your hotel room, do whatever you want. It's a language barrier thing. I'm joking around. But shout out to his performance, man. What a fun fighter to watch. Yuri Prohaska is the man. So fun to see him get his lock of the night. I made money on Saturday. I hope you guys did as well. And I'm looking to make money this weekend. I'm dropping my favorite bets for Knucklemania 5 over in the premium channel. I'll give you guys a couple bets I dropped over on the free channel as well. The link is in the description of the video. Go ahead and click it, jump in. And if you want to jump in the premium channel, DM at Mike Finch Show on Instagram. We'll get you in there. It's the bets that I place, and it's my most confident bets. So I am just going to give you guys exactly how I'm playing it. If it's an under, if it's an over, if it's a parlay, if it's a straight money line, that's generally where I live within there. Bare knuckle has been the most fruitful, the highest percentage I hit on. And I'm looking forward to having a good card on Saturday. All right. I appreciate you guys coming through. If you're coming from MMA Guru's channel and you're not used to this channel yet, hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Good to see y'all. It's BKFC on Saturday. I hope you enjoy it. And until next time, it's peace and love.